Good evening and welcome to tonight's Yukon City Council Yukon Municipal Authority work session. It's May 7th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. We're in the council chambers here in the Centennial Building at 12 South 5th Street in the great city of Yukon, Oklahoma. Tonight we'll start our study session with a report from Canadian County Commissioners regarding road improvements, and we're going to start with our city manager, Ms. Kretschmar.
Good evening. I would like to introduce Tom Mansky, Commissioner for Canadian County, and Commissioner Tracy Reed.
Right.
She's also writer. I'm sorry. For also Commissioner in Canadian County. We would like them to talk about some projects that they have proposed. One of them is Wilshire from Cimarron Road.
To Richland.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one is one that I think a lot of people will be happy about, is South Frisco, south of the interstate. So we invite them after Mitchell gets finished and to come up and talk about it.
Okay, we're here tonight. We've been talking to the commissioners. We've been talking about projects and working together, trying to make our money go as far as we can. And they have a couple of requests of us tonight to put in our budget, and that's why we're here tonight. Also, one of the other partners is Oklahoma City on one project, but we'll talk through it as we go along here, if you would. Like Tammy said, we're going to start talking about the Wilshire project. It's from Richland west to Cimarron. It is a road that is half ours, half the county. So they're requesting some funding because they're going to be working on farther west of that. Their request tonight is that we provide the cost of materials and they'll provide the labor for the project. But Commissioner Mansky will be able to talk about that here in just a bit. As you can see, it's on our northern and west side of our city limits. It's the last mile in our city limits on Wilshire on the west side. You can see as you look, this is looking towards the east at the road. The road has some issues. We've worked to the east of this, and the road has been done all the way to basically the turnpike, and the county is want to continue on to the west. So this mile they're asking for us to participate in. As you can see, it does have some issues that needs to be addressed. It's, the edge of the road is, sloughing off, getting potholes as well as other places in the road. There is a lot of traffic out here. There is, you can see water holes and stuff so far. This is what they're requesting of us, is this will be towards the top of the request of the monies. They're asking for $512,883.34. This is all the materials that would be required to do that section of the road. As you can see, they're talking about stabilizing it and, new culverts and, doing what they need to do to the road bed to be able to put a new road in there and make it more sustainable and a more drivable surface. Now we're going to talk about the Frisco Road, I-40 South to Northwest 10th Street. This is the one that Commissioner Ryder she called and talked to me before she became commissioner, when she was running for commissioner, and she talked to Tammy as well. This road, as you know and if you have traveled it, is in poor shape. This is a road that is actually shared between us and Oklahoma City. We got a quarter, that we got half of it, and they got the rest of the road, so we don't go all the way to 10th. But I have approached Oklahoma City. They are interested. They're working on funds. We've been trying to get a meeting between us and them and the commissioner so we can start talking about the project and get it off the ground so we can do an interlocal agreement. As we go forward, we just got a quarter of it. We've done part of it already, so we do have an estimate and we do have an idea how we can pay for this one. So we'll talk about that as we go along. As you can see, this is where it stops, and we're starting going to the south off of the I-40 interchange traveling south. And this road is in real poor shape, and it is drove a lot, and we get a lot of phone calls on this because people want to cut down and go to 10th Street. As you can see, as we go on traveling south, how bad the road is going south. And I think a few of you have drove this and I know Vice Mayor's talked to me several times about it too, about how poor shape it's in. You can see how bad we are. We have talked, like I said, to Oklahoma City. We're in the discussion of it, trying to get meetings together, trying to come up with an idea and a solution. This is all traveling all the way south to 10th Street, which is not all of our responsibility. But you can see how poor shape it is in. You see right there, this is at 10th Street. And like I said, most of this road's going to be Oklahoma City's responsibilities. Commissioner Ryder has talked to us about she will do the same. She will provide the materials at cost to the city, and they will do the actual labor of the project. As you can see, we're about $512,000. This is a number that was given to me by Oklahoma City to use. It's a little bit different than Tom's. It's been updated to the one I've got from Commissioner Mansky, but this was the number that was given to me the other day to use. It's not much different. We're talking approximately a quarter of a mile, a half of it, that would be our responsibility. And we're about 128,000, but one of the numbers that I was told to use about 150, because there is a drainage issue that they're doing a drainage study on that's at the bottom of the hill. It's still on part of our city limits. One of the thoughts is that we could probably pay for this out of the TIF because it abuts the property and it will add value to it and add better access to it. It will provide a cutoff for us to go to 10th Street, to be easier access around. And there is people that have talked to us, or citizens have talked to us about the possibility of not having to go down Garth Brooks, go to Frisco, go to 10th, and get around all the traffic that we have. So one of the thoughts is that will help us with that, but also help us with our economic development there when the on-queue builds. That would provide better access for them too as well. The commissioners are here to talk to you. They'd like to discuss, your participation. We're in the budgeting process, so that's why we're bringing it to you, because they have requested, that we consider that and participate and help them with the funding. And like I said, we talk about partnerships. They've been a great partner. We've done a lot of projects with them, and we want to keep that going on. But we want your input as we go through this budgeting process to see if you want to budget it, how you want to budget it, so we can go forward. So the commissioners are here to talk to you about it.
Well, thank you, Mitch, and I'm going to pass this out. It's just another handout to show what we're looking at in District 1. You going to pass those out for me, Mitch? Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thomas Mansky. I'm Commissioner in District 1 of Canadian County. One of the first things that we wanted to do when I first got into office was to work together to make things happen. I don't care who gets the credit. I just want to see roads fixed. I want to see people happy. I want to see our citizens be in a situation where they're excited about being where they're at. And Canadian County is one of the fastest growing counties in the nation, not only the state. And because of that, we have growing pains. Some of those growing pains include the challenges of roads. And when we get so many population in there and so many people building in and working in and coming to and from, that challenges a road. Of course, we know that challenges our own city budgets as well as our county budgets. So my fellow Commissioner Tracy Ryder and I, we want to work together to try to create teamwork so we can get the most accomplished as we can. Now, if you look at that handout, and Mitch kind of referenced some of this, that handout I showed you kind of gives you a little bit of a different look at that. The actual part in District 1 is not even quite a full mile. It is approximately, it's about 200 or 300 yards short of a full mile, so it's around that 3/4 of a mile parsec. That is Yukon's road. That's not a partnership road. That is Yukon's road. We have to the west of there, we will be doing our part from Wilshire west from Cimarron going all that way. So we offered to help with the Wilshire part while we're over there. We have a crew that is phenomenal, phenomenal, statewide known for stabilization. We will go in there, grind it up. We use a process called slurry mix. That's a cement slurry mix that we incorporate into there, pack it back down, and that creates a phenomenal base to put either chip seal, or we're encouraging you to use asphalt. Now, if you look at the numbers there, and Mitch was referencing these, they're really not that far apart. 512 and it's 512 for District 3 as well. That includes the stabilization material, which is the cement slurry I referenced, the culverts, the bedding, and the 1.5 inch crush run. If you wanted to take that out, that is if the city does that, right there in the middle, you can take that out to save some costs if you would like. Now, as you look at this, we figured in a 10% contingency down at the bottom. We always like to figure in a contingency because you never know what you're going to find. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes things happen that you're not aware of, and you want to have that built in. Chances are that's not going to happen. Even at the price itself, we inflated those just a little bit because we want to make sure it covers. While that says $512,000, the chances of it coming in considerably lower than that, probably in the 4 range, is a good opportunity. We have a crew that does great work. We're going to be doing ours sometime probably in the July area. Depends on how our other projects work out. We're just finishing on Banner. If you've had the opportunity to go out there at Banner and Highway 66, we just finished a new intersection. Highway ODOT did the 66 stretch, and we just finished the stretch of base stabilization and asphalt from I-40 to 66. It's phenomenal. It should open tomorrow. We finished the last payment today, and it's supposed to open tomorrow, so we'll probably be having a ribbon cutting for that. Once again, our crew is well known for the ability and the work that they do, the quality statewide. We would love the opportunity to work with the City of Yukon to get your stretch done. But know that we will be doing our stretch to the west. Any questions?
What's the timeline that it would take?
The timeline on that, we could base stabilize that, grind that up and stabilize that in about 2 days, and depending on the asphalt company. And once again, these numbers are based on our 6-month bid, which is applicable for the City of Yukon. That's going to save you some money. If you were to look at this project and contract out the whole thing, you're looking at a considerably higher number on that one. We have a new crew that did the asphalt this year that got our contract in the 6-month bid at our county, and they did a phenomenal job out here on the Banner Road project. So I would say based on 2 or 3 days on stabilization and depending on weather, they can usually come right in after. I will tell you, we started the base stabilization on Banner Road last week on a Tuesday. We finished the stabilization on a Thursday. They came in Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, and no, today's Tuesday. They came in Monday and Tuesday and had it paved, which is about the same amount of stretch as this is right there. So basically a weekish, give or take. Yeah, we got a good crew and they're very efficient too. Any other questions? Okay, Commissioner Ryder, you want to talk about your project?
While you're still up here, I think this is a wonderful idea. This is a way home for a lot of our people.
It is, it is.
And I've heard complaints nonstop, so this, I think, is a wonderful
Well, and
idea.
if you think about it, you know, we are getting so many major collectors in the Yukon area, even out to Banner, and that's why Banner is one of my first priorities. I had some constituents that were talking about the fatalities and some of the things that have happened out there. That's why I wanted to focus on that. But if you take in Frisco Road, which she's going to be talking about, you take in Wilshire being repaved all the way from the Turnpike over to 11th Street and Cemetery Road. We're going to be having it repaved that way. By the time our term is up, we'll have Banner finished from Northwest Expressway all the way down to 152. Folks, we're taking these major collectors and trying to make them safer for all the communities involved in Canadian County, and that works with teamwork with the cities. We all have, she and I are both working with all the cities in our districts to try to make sure we can work together and make the roads as good as possible, the living as good as possible for our citizenship, because we are both extremely proud of what Canadian County has to offer. We want people to come here, be excited about coming here, coming to our events, our activities, and spending their money in Canadian County. And good roads make that happen.
We appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. All right, Ms. Ryder?
Good evening. Thank you, first of all, for being willing to talk with us about finding remedies to these roads that are in dire need. So thank you very much. One of the differences between District 1's project and this project is that Canadian County does not own any of the road. It is in District 3 parameters, but I am here to say we are willing to be partnership between Yukon and Oklahoma City to fix this section of road. We are able to do the stabilization, grinding up and getting it ready for, and my suggestion would be, it's important to do asphalt on this road, not chip and seal, and to butt up with the portion that's already there to make it one continuous. I drive that road a lot. The only safe way is the faster you go, the softer it is. I hope there's no police in here.
One in the
But,
back.
but we're willing to partner. It's all about partnership. And that's all I have, is that we are willing to do what's not our part. We'll make it our part to make this road safer for the constituents. Any questions?
No, and I think this one would be, like you said, a great relief to Garth Brooks.
It will be. And I thought that was why that whole part was put in, to help relieve that, which, and that road, and Mitch, those pictures are wonderful, but after each rain, heavy rain, those pictures change. Because when your patches need patches that need patches that need patches, it's not very good.
Yeah.
So I thank you very much.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any questions? What would your timeline be?
To stabilize from where it begins to 10th Street, probably 2 days.
Okay.
So has Oklahoma City responded to
They
the
have
request?
not. I know that Mitch has been working diligently to get response from there. I have reached out to District 3 councilperson and have not received any kind of response regarding this area. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I have made contact with Oklahoma City. They seem to be interested. We're trying to get together, have a meeting so we can come together. You know, if this is what we want to do, we'll have to work on some interlocal agreements or memorandum of understanding. So just, you know, give us a direction of what you want to do, and we'll include it in the budget and start that process.
Okay. So we'll
And what about the ongoing maintenance of it?
The current maintenance or
No,
the future maintenance?
After it's fixed?
Each city would be responsible for their portion, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
But hopefully with this, we will be a long time down the road before we have to do any maintenance once we repair or rebuild these roads.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And then we will discuss that at our budget meeting, right?
Correct.
All right. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. This meeting is adjourned. We'll come back at 7 o'clock and start our city council meeting.